Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Her Story Circle. This is Gertrude Mache here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia, and it gives me pleasure to bring on our next speaker in this amazing online series of speakers. Chenadra Washington is coming to us all the way from Texas, Houston. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our tribe. We're really excited to bring your amazing story to the platform today. It always gives me joy when I get the privilege of meeting these amazing women who share their wisdom, who share their ideas to uplift, inspire, and energize. So the stage is yours, my sister. Thank you for being here with us today.
Excuse me, I think I was muted, but what a beautiful day to be an amazing platform. I do not take it lightly that Gertrude has asked me to be here. I want to say that my name is Chenadra Washington, and honestly, here lately, I've been getting introduced a lot, from stages to media platforms. I have to ask myself in those moments, who are they talking to or about? Because less than 2 years ago, I was not a best-selling author. I had not won a Houston Business Journal Diversity and Culture Award. I had not won multiple other business awards. I had not been featured on some of the biggest name platforms from ABC to CBS here in the States. That just wasn't my story. So to hear that and understand that the last 24 months of my life has catapulted me into places I never thought would be imaginable, that place only existed in my dreams. But really what happened is I said, you know what? I'm going to be serious about building a strong personal brand. And the last 24 months has been an experience of growth, hurt, learning experience. But most of all, I stand here in front of you and I am still growing today. When I think back to that time before I started this personal brand building journey, I really wanted more of what they call the rich life, the kind that spends more time with my family, the kind that just has more time to do things that I love to indulge in, and really the kind that serves me from a place where I can serve women from a very vulnerable and authentic place. But guess what? I had to take the chance on myself. I had to believe in myself that my personal brand was worthy and that I could use exposure opportunities coupled with brand building strategies to build a powerhouse brand. And make no mistake, I am very proud in saying that I have one because I know the work and the passion that it takes to build one. Guess what? I'm a girl who left corporate America in 2021. A corporate girl, financial services, no prior media exposure, no prior communication strategies. And here I am. I like to say, in the words of Drake, if you're familiar with that rapper, started from the bottom, now I'm here. So if you're a coach, an expert, really an entrepreneur who's sitting there saying, I want a strong personal brand, you should absolutely use personal brand building strategies coupled with communication to make more money, reach your ideal clients, and really, really tear the roof off your personal brand. Close to that rich life I talked about. And of course, if you can't tell, I've done this spill a lot of times. I heard everything. I'm too new. I don't have enough. I'm not media worthy. I don't have all of these things. Not only have I said it so many times, I too was on the other side of those statements just 2 short years ago. If you can't tell, I'm super proud about what I do. And really my power is giving this to you, the brand builder, the woman who's thinking that they can't do it, but it's only been tips, strategy, and of course, my unwavering faith. So look, let's get this brand building journey on the road. You won't spend 15 minutes with me and not get some nuggets. I value your time too much to not pour into you, to let you know some of the steps that I've taken to build a powerhouse personal brand as well as leverage media opportunities. So let's dive right into step one. Step one is write out your destination. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to serve your clients? What media outlets do you want to reach? Is it CNN? Is it the Jennifer Hudson show? Whatever that looks like, you must give your words an assignment. I think about that often, and it's still a part of my daily brand building journey, me speaking my brand into places that I know that I can achieve with the right steps. Imagine the possibilities. So you have to write these things down. Think about what you are imagining your clients to say about you. I want you to write testimonials of what you're hoping that you're giving your clients through the transformative power of your products and our services. You know, when I think back to writing this thing out, a lot of people don't like to go back because sometimes going back brings hurt, right? I think about 2020 when the world was facing unprecedented change. Your girl was still in corporate America trying to figure this thing out. And I had gotten really stressed. And that was coupled with the murder of George Floyd here in the States. And I can remember getting really, really bogged down. I'm talking about the kind of stress that leaves you with breakouts, that impacts your sleep, that really, really tears a big hole really in the core of who you are. During that time, people were searching for masks and doing all these things, but I was facing really unprecedented change because I had to do some internal work. And what a time to be faced with internal work when everything is in chaos. It was one of my lowest places mentally. But guys, and I say this so firmly, and I'm so happy that I've gotten to a place to really, really share this. But what I realized that in that place, in that space, in that time, specifically of 2020, I was wearing this. Y'all see this? I was wearing a mask. The mask of fear, the mask of no voice, the mask of code switching, the mask of insecurities, the mask of shrinking down. What a time. So, in terms of writing this out, I had to say out of my mouth that that version of Chenadra does not exist. I had learned to survive in what had become a jungle. So when I say writing it out, that means that in that time of hurt, I wrote out that at some place, some state, some time, that I will represent a brand of authenticity, visibility, and really the transformative power to have women do the same. So never underestimate the power of writing it out. That's step number one. Step number two, let's get ready. Let's get ready to rumble. Let's get all of your tools in place to get this journey on the road. What does your brand look like? What does it stand for? Mission, the value statements. Are you clear on that? That is a part of getting ready. Getting ready for the road, getting mediagenic. And you may be saying, what is mediagenic? Well, there's a whole list of things that goes into that. But guess what? It doesn't have to be hard unless you believe it to be. So I always leave my guests with a free gift. I have a media ready assessment that allows you to go through. It's just 8 simple questions that asks you some things about your personal brand, which also ties into being media ready, to see if you are at a point to where you can push this out, not in pristine condition, but in the condition that makes people know, like, and trust it. If you go to bit.ly/media review 22, you can download a free assessment that will help you start to get ready for your personal and or media ready journey. That is bit.ly/media review 22. Free download, no strings attached, but I encourage you on today to do that. So you think about these components of getting ready. Do you have a media kit? Do you have a professional bio that is continuously updated? Have you diarized all of your wins? Do you know how to talk about your story? Do you know how to weave in your personal story with your business story? There's a sweet, sweet, delicate spot of interconnection between those two things. And if you play that correctly, you will have no shortage of opportunities in knowing where to insert yourself as it relates to personal brand building and business brand building. You see, let me tell you something about the power of the story. Our power is in our stories. They have the ability to connect us, to allow others to see life. They heal, they help, they inspire. So storytelling is such a huge part of your brand if you have not mastered how to tell your story. And that thing needs to be refined for speaking on virtual summits as you see today, on stages, if you're giving a pitch to a large corporation, even if you're writing for a grant. In the last 60 days, I've had to use my story in multiple ways to position my business and my brand. So listen, I want to tell you, this getting ready step, it cannot be skipped. You have to take the time. You have to put the work into it. And most importantly, you have to couple it with some strategy. And me personally, I will always be committed to building this brand and using these steps, because you can look around the evidence of all of my social media, everything that you see me do from the time I started these things. You will not see these type of things unturned, right? This is something that I actually do. I'm going to continue to do, and I am encouraging you now to do those things as a part of getting ready. Okay, so don't forget about your free download, bit.ly/media review 22 for your free download. Okay, so we wrote out our destination. All right, we have some things to help us get ready. Number 3, grab your tools. All right, because we're getting ready to do this as a journey. Grab some tools. What does that mean? What are tools? Tools are continuous research. To be viewed as an expert, you have to know about your field. Research looks like what's trending in the media. How do I fit what I do into what the media is talking about, and really the current research? People want to know, like, and trust you. The other part about personal brand building is walking the walk. Okay, because I think there was a time in my life where I was like, dang, like I'm such, I have all these random facts, like where are they going to come into play? Let me tell y'all something. It's a game changer for me in conversation as it relates to my business. And sometimes I will interview people, I will talk to clients, and I said, now it's a problem now if I know more about what's going on in the news in your industry than you do. So don't let that be you. Do the work. Become intertwined in what it is that you're standing for as it relates to your personal brand and your business brand. Look around. Tools. Guess what else is a good tool? Consistency. What builds a strong personal brand? Consistency. Now, when you think about this back in terms of time management, sometimes people struggle here with consistency. There's so many tools and AI and different things that you can use to build a better, consistent brand. I tell my clients, I tell peers, I don't want to see you September 15th post something about your brand, your business, your product, and I don't see you again at Christmas time. I'm confused. Your clients are confused. People don't understand where you are. So that mode of consistency is going to break the barrier when it comes to building a personal brand. Tools, strategy. You can do it. You're talking about someone who literally came from financial services in 2021, took almost a year off and didn't start putting my foot to the ground as it relates to this until 2022. We're not even finished with 2024. And I can tell you, based on me being able to tell my personal story, build bridges of connection, even this very opportunity today will be a result of me connecting based on my personal story, and then Gertrude graciously calling me back. Real time with receipts. So you can always go back and look at the strides. I am passionate and going to be forever passionate about personal brand building. So we wrote it out. We gave you 3 good steps. We wrote the destination out. We started to get our stuff ready. And then we started to grab some tools. This is the part of my speech now where I put the ball right back in your court. Because I can tell you to do all these things. You can go out and you can, look around at other people who do this. But this is where you have to make the tough decisions. This is the part where you have to start working on your faith. You have to start working on your belief. And then you have to start asking yourself some hard questions. How long are you going to sit on the sideline? When will you hone in to pitch yourself as a high quality package? How much is it worth to keep having your business or brand overlooked? How much is it worth to not emerge from the shadows? How much is it worth to reach the people that you know that you're aligned to help? Those questions I can't ask for you, but I do tell you that time is ticking. Building a personal brand is a beautiful thing. It takes work, it takes strategy, but I guarantee at the end of it, there are wins. Ask yourself, how much are you willing to invest to get to the next level? Me building my personal brand is a non-negotiable. And every day and every opportunity that I am given to build and strengthen that, Chenadra does for her brand, which is Black Orchids PR, by the way, but it has expanded in a very short time to other levels and tiers under that brand just by doing this footwork. So it's been 15 minutes. I'm so gracious. I really hope and pray that this has helped you. I know it has. Look at my beautiful friend back on the screen. And I want to say thank you, Gertie. You know I love you. You know I appreciate the space that you've given me in a short time, and I am ready for any questions that you may have.
Oh my gosh. You are a girl on fire.
Oh,
Every time I connect with you, I feel you. I am here in Melbourne, Australia, but you are a powerful, powerful, powerful woman on a mission to empower as many women as possible, to not sit back, to own who they are in the land of business, personal development, social influence. So we've now got this amazing tool called the internet. I'm sitting in Melbourne running an international online summit with women from all over the world. You're there in Texas doing your thing. Tell me did what happened after you started getting all of this media attention? You've appeared on Fox, CBS, NBC, Business Insider, Yahoo Finance, The Griot. What was the fallout of all of these experiences for you as a brand and for you in your business?
yes, you have to realize the first part of this, I'm always very transparent in my story. Like when people started seeing it, like, wait a minute, what's happening? Like, didn't this girl just like leave a job? Like, what's the connection? What is she doing? So it was this confusion, right? And people were starting to get this, from that internal like family and people that were connected. But then after the shots kept going in, it was like, oh, to lean in now. What's she doing? How's she doing it? How's she?
Mm.
People then began to see a different side of me emerge. So if you're in a place to where you're starting fresh building a personal brand, because I was fresh to building it on the entrepreneur side, people started to inquire. I started to attract versus chase, right? You know what I mean? And it was really that phenomenon. Like even like now, like they'll ask, like, how did you do this? How did you do that? Now people start to wonder. So sometimes you have to be the person that takes the strides, even as it relates to your local community or family or even your current Facebook group and things of that sort. But
Mm.
now, I'll tell you this too, and me and Gertie talked about this kind of being in the flow type thing. We've had this conversation before, but to tie that into that, it started my flow season. It started
Mm.
me to be able to number one believe in my brand, and I'm like I'm standing on it. I don't care who else does it. I'm doing what I'm ready to be on CNN. It's that thing, and until you. It changed me internally so much. Not saying that the accolades and the media mean all these different things because I'm going to serve regardless, but it started to add that extra level of really kind of confirmation. Does that make sense, y'all?
It makes sense. It makes sense. And what I'm hearing is you turned into a butterfly. You created a garden that was so attractive. You're not chasing anyone anymore. People are chasing you, correct?
That is correct. That is
Yeah.
correct.
And that is a game changer. It's a different energy to work in as well. Now, your entrepreneurial education platform emphasizes mentorship and PR strategies. How do you balance these elements to create a community driven experience for your clients? Community is everything. We all need support. Some of us are entrepreneurs working online in isolation. Tell us a little bit about that.
Of course, really the core of me is community, and like we're starting to get increase now for me just to do like the PR, right? Like we don't want we just want you to do the thing, right? And there's a part of me that always says that yes, I will take on that kind of work, but it will be like kind of a certain percentage of what I do, right? Because I think in terms of my service, it is this community platform. Because so often, especially women, we deal with imposter syndrome. We deal with we're not good enough, we're not worthy enough. So to be able to have community style conversations around us, building our brand and saying like, girl, you better cut that foolishness out and get back in the game, get your head back in the game. That makes the difference. And then the other part is that I challenge my clients to do like a life walk backwards. They be thinking I'm crazy because I say, you forgot how many strides you've taken. You have
Yes.
forgotten. because you're so close to the process and you're so close to doing the thing, you've forgotten who you are. That's the
Mm-hmm.
power of community right there. Because when we go back and have all these stories, I'm like, you did that. And they're thinking like, oh, I forgot. But me personally, and saying that and us talking about our experiences really as a whole, it just gives us more confidence to go out and do these things. So yes, I mean, it's more than just PR. We have confidence building. We have even professional development classes that are weaved through throughout the time of the process. We talk about several ways to tell your story. You not only tell, like I said in the speech, I've been using my story heavily for 60 days. And the things that have happened are crazy, from grants to, perhaps, going to speak at a college university. These are all a parts of the story. Which part of it do you take and where does it go? Because it's beyond the media. We're supposed to be a walking brand kit. So when we have the entire strategy, we're going to go through all of that because I don't want you ever out here high and dry. It's like when Gertie called me last night. It was like, can you speak? I'm like, girl, yeah, I do this. I know my brand in and out. I'm not scared. I'm going. So that's the power of having it being kind of tailored with both mentorship and PR, and then also to giving them that holistic view of where the personal brand goes.
I love it. Now, your PR company is called Black Orchids, and it's positioned at an intersection of communication and professional development. What key communication strategies do you believe are essential, especially for women of color, to succeed in today's marketplace?
Know your room and know your audience. We all have a million stories. I probably can sit here and tell you 10 life stories off the top of my dome. You don't tell everyone in every space. So we get you thinking about more tailored communication. When you step in that room, what is your end goal by coming to this networking event and that type of thing? So it's that tailored communication strategy. Here's what I found. Like, I remember when I was back in corporate, I would see women of color, and I think that a certain presence specifically would have them kind of maybe nervous, would have them kind of change their agenda, change this and that. No. We are building you up to go into these rooms to say, this is the story, you're sticking to it, and really be able to navigate conversations with more confidence, right? Just like when you, for example, I have been interviewed by media outlets, and they've tried it with me. Like, they've tried to weave my words. I know how to control this environment, this conversation, because I know, number one, what my brand stands for. I know my personal boundaries, and I know that if it's a conversation that I'm going to have, I'm going to be the most equipped to have it, if that makes sense. I want to make sure that women know that and really where and how to position their communication strategies for what rooms.
I love it. Absolutely inspiring. So, your extensive background in financial services and risk management has clearly shaped your leadership style. What have those experiences influenced the way that you approach PR and brand communication?
I tell people that even though the last part of that journey was very tough for me, it's an experience I would never take back. I used to manage global teams, little bit of everywhere: Manila, Australia, UK, South Africa, several places within the States. And it really changed my life forever because I was talking to people while I wasn't even able to see them physically. But what I learned on the ground was the art of community building, right? I don't know what you do across the water. I have no idea. Like, some of these countries I never even heard from. But what I can do is be a good marker of authenticity. And then my active listening, it just skyrocketed. So at that point, my communication was like, oh, because people, I mean, I'll be talking like the most, like, what people are talking about? Like, life. We all live a life, but just in different parts of the world. I mean, it's still life. And because of that experience, it just shaped me in a way to where, like, I have a very colorful friend list. Like, I can literally call somebody who's out of the country and we can talk just like you and I. It doesn't seem, foreign or forced, but it's everything. Like, for a person, believe it or not, who, after I do my interviews, I have to go and recharge because that tries to like supersede. But because I can be intentional with my communication style, it comes from here. So I'm removing like a lot of different things that people would consider biases, and I'm just having a conversation. And that's what that leadership style taught me. And I am so very honored to have it. It peaks up every time. It's peaking up so much, it's almost become like a 180. Where now my conversation, they're so full, they're so pure, and I don't care who they are. These people don't look like me. Some of them barely speak the language, and we're over here laughing. But it's one of those things. And teaching my clients really, number one, the keys to this communication, baby. You actively listen, you can tailor, you can tailor your communication styles to even have to talk less. And that's just the reality of it.
It's just amazing. So, in your experience, what are some of the common mistakes that emerging entrepreneurs make when it comes to brand communication? And how do you guide them to avoid these pitfalls?
Trying to speak to everybody. Everybody, that's not your target. Define who the target is and then speak to the pain. What can you do to solve the pain? And you will hear this kind of almost repeated, almost cliche, like if you're getting business coached and trained or whatever, but you really have to get to the core of that and understand them. And that also too goes back to the active listening piece. I'm like, what is it that you really want? And really, how can I help you? And then the other part of it is just this generalized communication. If you tailor it to speak to what I just talked about, it just makes the bond that much stronger. Also, too, you have to put a fear of missing out around your products and services. Yes. I'm really starting to play with that now because you know that your skills and all your expertise is valuable. You have to make them believe that. Yeah. And the other part on, I can't talk about this enough, they are not consistent enough. They are thinking about, oh, they don't like it. I don't get this many likes. Trust me, they are looking, they are watching. Do not stop posting. Do not stop talking about it. Do all these different things that people will tell you to do. I can guarantee you, most of the time, the inbox and stuff that I get from people are people that never liked anything, never shared a post. I have to go click on their profile. I'm like, who is this? I didn't even know you. You follow me. Who are you? But seriously, it's that consistent. You never know who's watching. And at the beginning, that if you are truly believing that your brand will do X, Y, Z, you better for sure walk the walk.
So true. Now, you have polished and you've got this polished and articulate speaking style. How do you coach others to find and refine their own communication styles, especially when telling their personal brand stories? You're just so authentic and so you. I don't see any layers. I don't see a mask. How do people succeed in getting to this point?
This is the one they don't like, though. They have to do the internal work. They don't want to do this part. They just want to go and copy and paste what old girl down the street is doing. I said, until you do your work. Oh, y'all see that mask? They gonna still be wearing that mask. I don't care if they painted up, got a beautiful branded shoe. I don't care about none of that. Until they do that work, it's still gonna come out muzzled. It's still gonna be uncomfortable. It's still gonna be all of that. So doing that tough work, and when I talked about this, like in 2020, when I said, oh no, that wasn't an easy glazed across it in like a little 15-minute speech. That was hard work. Had to say, Chenadra, what are the things that actually hurt you? You're gonna talk through your own pain, because once you talk through your own, all this business talk is really nothing. It's really nothing, because I already had the hardest conversations with myself. So anything else beyond that, it's just strategy. Yeah. So when we come in there, most of my clients are like, oh my gosh, did we sign up for church? Is this they don't know what they did, they just know they changing.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, so now my last question for you is this. If you could go back and have a conversation with that younger woman, what was it, 2017, who was making a decision to leave the corporate world, you could go back and give her 3 nuggets of wisdom based on what life has taught you up until this point. What would those 3 nuggets of wisdom be?
Yeah, so 2017 is a good one, because at that time I was a new mom. I became a mom in July of 2017, and I was returning back to work like maybe the last part of 2017 softly, and then full time back in January of 2018. So specifically at that time, Chenadra, the hard parts, they are not meant to break you because it was hard. It was so hard at that time. They are not meant to break you, right? You have to build up your code of resilience. We know it hurts, but just don't settle in this hard part. You got to keep moving your feet. Okay, that's the first thing. Number two is this: all of the parts that you were really trying to suppress were the keys to your freedom. I didn't want to, I was criticized so much for being like the nurturer and all this kind of things, or whatever. So I was trying to play this act with my leadership style and doing all this. Those are the keys to your freedom. Those are the things right now today that have helped you build such a strong personal brand. And then number three, I would your faith. You thought you thought in 2017 you had some real faith, but baby, you got to keep walking it out, because the faith level from 2017 to 2024 is a whole different level. You have to learn how to surrender your will and do the real work and wait for the reward. I wish I can tell her that, but I think she got it. She's been moving, and she's been working, and even through the highs and lows, she keeps building that code of resiliency. So those will be the three things.
Fantastic. Listen, thank you so much for coming online and sharing your wisdom with us today. It's an absolute honor to have you on the Her Story Online Summit in September 24. I've got your gift to everybody at the bottom of the screen. Grab this opportunity, everyone. It's not every day that you get something for free that is of value. So go onto this website, bit.ly media reviews 22, and do the assessment and see where you're actually at. And if you need help, reach out, get the help you need. They say that success leaves clues.
Mm,
People who are successful will share how they did it to help you shortcut the journey. So don't try and reinvent the wheel. It's already been invented.
for real.
So thank you, everybody, for coming online this morning. I'll be back again tomorrow with yet another amazing guest. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, morning, or evening, wherever you are in the world, and bye for now. Thanks again, Chandra. Bye for now, everybody.